Okay, I was talking about the Bronze Age the other day, and there's a lot of stuff where you can sort of save on mats, save on a variety of materials, and a lot of times, the biggest thing, the thing that is most often skipped, especially by knife mates in the Bronze Age, is the copper knife. More than anything else, especially from somebody who mains that weapon class, the copper knife gets skipped. Totally skipped. Because you can just go get your pickaxe, go out to a coastal leviathan, and get yourself some chitin for the abyssal razor. This thing, oh yes. Look at this. I got this at quality 3 right now. That's the highest you'll probably get because it's crafting level 4. And then, of course, you'll upgrade it once you hit the swamp. But once you get some early iron, you can then go up, find some early silver, use the stag breaker or iron sledge, ping for too hard at 120 meters or above. Be careful if there's any obsidian deposits nearby because they'll also ping for too hard. And then you can just take your iron pickaxe and get your early silver, which will then get you the silver knife. Now, I'll come back to the silver knife because that is exactly the precedent that I want to set for certain types of knife changes that I want to make. So, this being said, there's quite a bit of time before you go get that early silver where you're going to be using this abyssal razor, probably at quality 3, but even if it's quality 1, this thing is already better than a quality 4 iron knife. Not iron knife, copper knife. So quality 4 copper knife, 1414, 1515, sorry. And quality 1 abyssal razor, we have 2020. So it is a huge jump. It is an enormous jump up. I mean, it's just absurd. Look at that. I mean, upgrading it, you go up 21, 22, 22, you're going up 1, 1, 1. But when you jump from quality 4 copper knife to quality 1 abyssal razor, it is a boost of 5 and 5. That is absurd. And so I completely understand why somebody would say, no, I don't want to mine that boring thing. I want to go out to a leviathan and have some adventure. I don't want to do the same old bronze grind, copper mining. I want to go out and sail the high seas, find myself a leviathan, maybe even see a serpent, take it out with fine wood bow, hella arrows, get some early meat like that. I don't know, who knows? There's plenty of fun, exciting adventure to be had in the high seas, and a lot of people seem to prefer that. I mean, I feel like people would prefer it even if they were the same strength, even if they had the same attack value. People would prefer to go out into the ocean, even though it's more dangerous, and grab the abyssal razor than they would spend it on the copper knife. And that's more of a criticism of the bronze grind, the copper mining, how annoying everything is there versus how exciting leviathans are. But even then, it's just better to grab this. So the copper knife should be changed, I think. How should it be changed? And this is where we get into the sort of paradox of knives. See, I talked a little bit about the iron sword dilemma a while ago. And the thing is, using the same early silver method, you can go up and get your silver sword and spend a little bit of iron on that instead of spending a lot of iron on the iron sword. And the silver sword just outclasses the iron sword in every regard. And so the iron sword, in order to justify its existence, should be changed a little bit, Maybe it should have a little bit of buff. And I suggested fire sword. Maybe a fire sword, maybe a lightning sword early. That would be pretty cool. It would definitely make things interesting, and I think it would be like an interesting, meaningful choice whether you want to go into an encounter with a special fire or lightning sword or your raw physical with some spirit attached to it silver sword. So there's really good choice making to be going there. There's a lot of stuff going on that makes me excited. It's the meaningful decisions the devs really want you to consider the mechanics meaningfully when they make things. So copper knife, what changes should be made? Problem. Bit of a problem here because I, in my mind, had decided on fire. Yes, fire damage. Because it's a DPS, fire stacks additively hit to hit. So getting these quick hits on the weapon really makes a difference with fire. And it's just really nice to have that damage type to exploit it for Grey Dwarfs and so on and so forth. Copper is a good conductor. Originally, from a comment on the Iron Sword video, somebody suggested the bronze spear be lightning. I completely agree with that. So maybe not lightning on the copper knife. Maybe the conductiveness could be used for heat, and it could be a fire knife. So that would be interesting. Probably some additional ingredient would be put into it. But I also love that, well, it takes Grey Dwarf eyes. The Grey Dwarf eyes are also used in the Frost Resistance mead. They're also used in Eyes Scream. So they have some sort of stabilizing effect for cold. So I think fire would be really cool. Not just any fire, maybe like a blue fire would be interesting. But this is where we're getting into another bit of a problem, and the knife paradox makes itself apparent. See, knives are a weapon with very good sneak potential, but also very good DPS potential. And thing about glowing weapons, so check the Mistwalker here, it glows, makes it easier, or makes the player easier to detect while sneaking, increasing visibility of the holder by approximately 20%. And now knives, they also have no move speed reduction, so you like to have them out, have them ready while sneaking, but if you have a special blue fire knife, it could make you not as good while sneaking. Now, it is good to have, say, DOT effect on burst damage even while sneaking, because if you're going up to a target and you just blast them, that DOT is modified with the sneak attack modifier, and it's just huge tick. That's just going down for the enemy. Even if they're like staggered or they're going this way or that way, running around, maybe even in the dark or the fog or even night fog, you'll still be able to see them. Even if they're wherever, and you might lose track of one enemy, you won't lose track of an enemy that's just on blue fire or on fire, going wherever. You're never going to lose track of that enemy, and you'll be able to run them down and get your good DPS in and basically take hold of the situation. Whereas other enemies that aren't glowing and just dark, they will be able to sneak around in the dark by chance or in the fog. It's rare that this will happen, but it's still a benefit to having a burst damage weapon like knives, or maybe say like arbalest with DOT attached. So I think poison knife could also work wonderfully. I really like the idea of a poison knife, that sneak burst damage. But the DPS isn't as good there because poison DOT doesn't work like fire DOT. Poison DOT is not an additive stack, it replaces the stack. So, or not stack, it replaces the DOT. The tick changes and changes hit to hit based off of the original damage RNG that you get. So it might ping for, let's say, 20 damage. So it'll tick like 4 damage every time. Okay, well, the next hit you might proc 13 damage. So it'll tick like 3 damage every time. Maybe you'll hit it again and it'll be 15. So it'll be a little bit higher now. And it, you can go back and forth. A lot of people seem to think that it stacks additively like fire. That's just the illusion of RNG. If you stack if you proc a 10 and then you proc a 20, it looks like, oh, it's adding up. It's really adding up, guys. Look, the Draugr Fang. The poison's adding up. No, it does not. It does not add up. That's just an illusion of RNG. And it's confirmed in the code. Sadly, that's the way that poison works. I really think poison should be changed. But again, poison would probably make the weapon glow, which again is really bad for the sneaking side of things. So we have something that's bad for DPS, something that's bad for burst damage. When you're sneaking, it's like, oh man, the thematics of a poison knife is totally ruined by the other mechanics at play in Valheim. The glow and the way that poison DOT works. It's like, okay, well now my sneaking's bad and my DPS is bad. So poison's out of the window. Fire, not as good because it makes you glow. So it's like, I don't want to have to pick. Do I want to boost the DPS quality or do I want to boost the sneak attack quality? I just want one or the other. And this is where the silver knife comes into play. Because silver knife, it has the additional effect of spirit damage, even though that's situational. But it doesn't glow. It does not glow. So here, let's just... Valheim silver knife. Definitely should have had this prepared in the meantime. Silver knife, here we are. Additional spirit damage. Does it glow? No, it does not glow. It does not increase your visibility while sneaking, and yet it has this boost, which is very good versus, well, undead and such, enemies that take spirit. It's really good when you get that burst damage from a sneak attack. It's really good when you're doing DPS with this normal move set, and so I think this precedent should be kept. And I think if you're going to add a special effect like fire to the copper knife, it should not glow. It should not glow at all. I think that's the solution. And I think that certain weapons in the future that have benefits maybe shouldn't glow as well. Maybe like you have a arbalest. It's really good to sneak with that weapon, or whatever Ashlands crossbow or Deep North or Ocean's crossbow that we get in the future. I think if you're going to have a special version of that, it should not glow to help you with sneaking. And yeah, that's the solution. Fire copper knife without the glow. Yeah, very odd, very awkward, kind of weird. But it works. And it works very well. Fits the DPS and fits the sneak attack. Let me know what you guys think. This is just a weird thing with knives. Knives are all super odd. I also think that you could make the copper knife a sort of dual-wielding modifier thing where you just equip the copper knife as an offhand thing, almost like a torch. And then you slap an Abyssal Razor on that. You could dual wield just like your Skull and Hadi here. But then again, it's like, why wouldn't you just be able to use 2 Abyssal Razors, right? Why wouldn't you have that cool option? At which point, just use 2 Abyssal Razors, right? So you gotta change the copper knife in some way. And I think non-glowing blue fire would be the way. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys some other time. Bye!